John chapter 21. After this, Jesus revealed himself again to the learning ones on by the sea of the city of Tiberias. But he revealed himself thus. There were together at the like same time Simon Peter and Thomas, the one say called Didymus, and Nathanael, the one from Cana, the place of Galilee, and the sons of Zebedee, and two others out of his learning ones. Then says Simon Peter to them, I go away to fish. They say to him, We, yea, also we, come together with you. Hence they came out and stepped into the ship. And that night they took not one fishlet. But becoming morning, Jesus stood on the beach, looking. However, the learning ones did not know that it is Jesus. Hence Jesus says to them, Little boys, do you not have any additional eats? They answered him, No. He says to them, Cast the net toward the right-hand parts of the ship, and you will find. But they cast it, and no more were they strong enough to draw it from the fullness of the fish. Hence that learning one whom Jesus loved says to Peter, It is the Lord. Hence Simon Peter, hearing that it is the Lord, thoroughly girded himself with the inslip on, for he was bare, and cast himself into the sea. But the other learning ones in the other boat came, for they were not far from the earthland, but at about a distance of 200 cubits, dragging the net with the fishes. Hence, as they had stepped up from the ship into the earthland, they looked at a coal fire lying there, and a fish ration lying thereon, and bread. Then Jesus says to them, Bring from the fish ration which you now took. Hence Simon Peter stepped in the ship and drew the net toward the earthland, swollen with 153 great fish, and even though being so many, the net was not torn. Then Jesus says to them, Come hither, have early meal with me. But not one out of the learning ones dared interrogate out him, saying, Who are you? Yea, you, perceiving that it is the Lord. Then comes Jesus and takes the bread and gives it to them, and likewise the fish ration. But this was already the third time that Jesus, as having been awakened out of the died ones, was revealed to the learning ones. Hence, when they had early meal, Jesus says to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? He says to him, Yes, Lord. You perceive that I befriend you. He says to him, Give herbage to my lambkins. Again he says to him the second time, Simon, son of John, do you love me? He says to him, Lord, you perceive that I befriend you. He says to him, Herd my sheep. He says to him the third time, Simon, son of John, do you befriend me? But then Peter was saddened that he said to him the third time, Do you befriend me? And he said to him, Lord, you perceive all. You know that I befriend you. And he says to him, Give herbage to my sheep. Amen, amen, I say to you, when you were younger, you girded yourself, and walked whereto you wanted. But when, as it were, you will become a hoary old man, you will outstretch your hand, and others will gird you, and will do to you as much as you do not want. But this he said therewith, signifying in what kind of death he will glorify God. And having said this, he says to him, Follow me. But Peter, as one having been turned, looks at the one following, the learning one whom Jesus loved, who also sat down on his breast in at the supper, and who says to him, Lord, who is this one giving you up? Hence, having perceived this one, Peter said to Jesus, But this one, what will be with him? Then Jesus says to him, So if I want that he abide till I come, what does it mean to you? You follow me. Hence this word came out into the brothers, That learning one does not deaden away, but Jesus said not to him that he does not deaden away. But so if I want that he abide till I come, what does it mean to you? This is the learning one, the one testifying concerning this, the one also having written this. And we perceive that his testimony is true. But there are also many other things which Jesus did, that so if it may be written, one according by one, that not even the cosmos itself would give room, so I imagine, to the book scrollets being written. Well, announcement according to John.